What bait to choose? What hooks should I use? Well, the number one thing I look at when I'm fishing is efficiency.
Reelin with Nick. Reelin with Nick.
Welcome to another episode of Reelin with Nick. Today we're going to expand on the Finesse drop shot rig. If you remember last video, we talked about rod, reel selection, braided line, fluorocarbon leader, down to the Palomar knot for the hook, and a small knot for our weight. Well, today we're going to expand by showing baits and how to be efficient on the water using a Finesse drop shot rig. What bait to choose? What hooks should I use? These are very daunting questions when you're on the water. How do you go about answering them? Well, the number one thing I look at when I'm fishing is efficiency. What is the most efficient techniques and methods? And the thing that can be frustrating about a Finesse drop shot is there's so many different options. You look at the baits here, the hooks, and we got to narrow that down. So we want to look at efficiency, the number one thing. So let's take a case in point. We're going down a bank and we have submerged trees or we have brush piles. What is the most efficient baits to be using there? Well, we started with power fishing. Many of you would throw spinnerbait or a 1.5. All right, finally, we're just not catching anything after all this. And our next most confidence bait is going to be the drop shot, let's say. Many of us, this will be the first thing we have on. And it is a open hook with a wacky rigged Senko. And we're going to throw that in there. And we know probably what's going to happen, but it's what we have tied on, so we throw it in there, hoping for the best. And in a cast or two, guess what? We're hung up and we just lost our rig, and now we're done. But we have two other options here. We have a Texas rigged 6-inch robo worm. And the way this straight shank hooked is, you can see that it has a stopper there to help keep that worm up on the hook. And that works great. That would be a nice option for those brush piles or the submerged trees. Another great option would be the Texas rigged crazy flapper or a creature bait of your choice. Again, Texas rigged, no hook exposed. So you're going to have a decreased chance of getting hung up. And again, that is your offset hook. Now there's so many other options out there to choose from. We have some here, and we're going to go through some more scenarios of how to choose. So what we're going to look at here is the open hook or the octopus hook. And on here, again, I have the 4-inch Senko. This is a great choice, especially post-spawn or when fish are very, very skittish or pressured. It's always a great choice. Another great choice with an open hook is going to be a very simple 4-inch robo worm right through the nose. See, we have that through the nose. Or another way to rig it is going to be come down your worm about 1/4 inch, poke your hook through there and just bring it up through the front of your worm, not exposing the hook. And that's exactly what you'll have there. All right, that's another very natural looking way. Just imagine your worms up there like that, a very natural way to rig. Another great method or another great bait is going to be a crosstail shad or a shad type imitator. All right, works great up north. Again, right through the nose, and it's very, very small. All right, so again, we're talking Finesse drop shot baits here. And finally, we'll come down to a 2.8 swim bait, and we'll hook that through the nose as well. And I'll tell you what, especially in cold water or in high pressure situations, bringing this along the bottom, you'd be surprised how natural that looks and how many extra bites you'll get with that swim bait. And now, before I move on, I just want to explain something. if I am vertical drop shotting, you'll see this a lot up north in your Great Lakes. We drop the drop shot down over the boat vertically, and basically you're like this. Fish comes, they grab it. All right, so whatever your length is between the hook and the weight is what you're fishing. All right. Now, when we make a cast with our drop shot, totally different scenario. Now we have an angles game. So we probably have about an 8 to 10 inch gap between our weight and our hook. We make a cast, and now our boat's over here. We made a cast. Our weight goes down, and now we're dragging it. You see that we're no longer 8 to 10 inches off of the weight. We're probably 3 or 4 inches off the lake floor. That is the reality of using your drop shot. Remember those angles and how that plays into your deal there. Now, another thing that I really like to do, we already talked about the crazy flapper or a creature bait, if that's what you like to throw. Another great presentation. We can also take a 3.8 inch swim bait, Texas rig that. Well, this is a 3.3, I'm sorry. And then we can try that. It would just be like the smaller 2.8, but we got a little bit larger profile. Again, it's weedless, and we can bring that across the bottom. It's also a very good way to use your riggings there. Now, one more little tidbit I want to throw in there is if you're throwing pretty much any of these rigs, but especially your straight worm hook. All right, I took notice of this a lot when I fish finesse rigs, and sometimes you'll get bites and you don't get hookups. You'll see your line moving, or you'll get a bite, you go to set the hook, and you have nothing. You might even have half your worm off. And most of us are going to think, that was a sunfish, bluegill, crabby bass, something like that. But oftentimes, if you go to a bigger hook, even a hook that comes down to about here, or you take that bigger worm off and you go to the smaller worm, even with this bigger hook, and you rig it up the same way, Texas style, you will find that those bites that you were getting, that you thought were bluegills, crabbies, sunfish, were actually bass. They were mouthing the bait, but they were not fully committing to the bait. I hope these tips help you become a better angler. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad day on the water.